I'm so honored to have a conversation with Major Bianca Ross, who was recently promoted to major in a ceremony on the National Mall with the National Museum of African American History and Culture as a backdrop. Major Ross, welcome to Let's Talk.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, we it's Veterans Day. We can't talk to you about being a veteran because you're not yet. But I know that you one, let me start off with saying still thank you for your service, your continuing service. And do you come from a family of former military folks? Any veterans in your family?
Absolutely. My mother, my father, my brother, my grandfather, his father. I've grown up with it. I've grown up around it. I have a great appreciation for the craft as well as what it has done in uplifting our community. So glad to currently serve, but definitely thankful for those who've served before me.
And tell us a little bit about your role right now, what you do.
Hi, so I'm an executive officer at the National Guard Bureau. So I'm the second hand to my colonel for all the supplies that we send to National Guard soldiers across the 54 states and territories. So, right, over 300,000 soldiers. So I facilitate a lot of that and make sure that our subject matter experts have what they need to give the soldiers, the right assets to do their job.
I know this is off point, but I was talking to some folks the other day about all of the National Guardsmen that are in the city, and a lot of them, whether they're you know welcomed or not, they're a great PR tool. And I'm wondering if there are folks, particularly young people, that are taking the time to really have conversations with them. I mean, as a recruitment, tool. That's what I'm saying. So, we don't talk about the National Guard enough. We don't talk about the military enough, I think, in our communities. And so, to see a woman like yourself, serving in that role, um, what would you say actually to encourage young people to consider military service?
Well, for one, I tell them that, I'm 32, right? I pinned major '04 at the age of 31. I'm the first person in my family on either side, mother or father, to attend college and to graduate and have a graduate degree also. And I was able to do that, right, because of the benefits. You just spoke with someone who works with veteran affairs at UDC, because of the benefits that, my parents, right, the GI Bill that my parents had, where I was able to go to Clark Atlanta University, a HBC private university that's very expensive, right? Tuition paid, room and board paid, to pay for an apartment so I wouldn't have to work. I would say that it's a very comfortable salary. You can't beat the stability. If you want to see the world, if you want to know what you're capable of, right, and test yourself on some certain things and meet new people, it's a great option. And it's not something that you have to do 20. Well, I think it's the only career you can do 20 years, right, and retire for the rest of your life and get paid the rest of your life. But also, you don't have to. Right, if you're unsure about what your future looks like, you can do 3 years, right, coming out of high school and go to Tokyo or Italy or Fort Hood, Texas, or anything else, and really explore life, get on your own, find yourself, what you like to do, and then go and do that. Right. So the military will give you a great foundation to accomplish the path that you decide to go on.
And when as a little girl growing up, with your mom, I guess you did a lot of traveling, right? With your
Yeah.
parents, or did you? So where were some of the places you got a chance to visit I'm not gonna call you a military brat because I don't like that term, but a child of service people.
Well, mainly countless growing up. Parents retired when I was in about sixth grade or so. But Fort Drum, New York, upstate New York, right, Canada, Fort Stewart, right, so outside of Savannah, Fort Lee, outside of Richmond, going to a lot of schools, and even currently serving at Italy, London, Iraq, of course, during deployments, here in Virginia. So doing tours, you going on, and when you are stationed in these places, going to Greece, going to, everywhere you can think of, going to Spain. But it's been quite a journey.
Yeah, I would think so, and an amazing journey. I mean, that again, it's, and I'm not sure if you can really speak to this, but there was a period, I guess, in my father was a Korean War. He fought or served during the Korean War. A lot of my peers' parents were in the Korean War, not World War II, and then post. There are a lot of young people who have family members who've been in wars post that period. But I think about Prairie View, which is where my dad went to school, which was really a great HBCU for promoting people to go into the military. And I'm just wondering about, where we are as a community, an African American community, and our desire to do military service. Something has happened along the way where we don't look at that as an option. And, does that ever sort of cause you pause or make you wonder why?
Well, I wouldn't say that I ask why. I think I have a great understanding of why.
Hmm.
Of course, historically and even sometimes currently, it can look that appear that there's a conflict, right, between our community or our blackness and service. But I will say that despite any of that, I don't let anyone else negotiate my value or what's best for me. And I would recommend that to anyone. And when I think of the Tyler Perry film, 6888, I love it so much. When I think of me currently serving and things I've experienced, good and bad, and when I think of Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams, 1940s, right? You serving in a country and experience, legal and federalized segregation and what they had to experience, but still, with her HBCU education, still leading, still excelling, still going to World War II and, killing the game. And so I'd say we've been prospering for 400 years. We're not going to stop now. And don't let any distractions get in the way of what your path is.
So I would take that your answer applies to women who serve in the military as well, and Black women.
Absolutely. Some of the best officers I know are my fellow Black women officers and women in general. I think any marginalized group in whatever setting has its challenges, but I think what's important is to never try to overcompensate. Right. I think when you're in a setting and you feel like you need to overcompensate, whether it's being a woman and you need to be more masculine in this, or being Black and you want to play into respectability politics, I absolutely disagree with that. I think when you start doing that, right, you are accepting this subservient role, right, that some may given to you. So I'm like Angel Reese, be your unapologetic, authentic self, and just take up space. Know that you deserve to be there, live your life, and do your best. And I think you can't do your best until you are you.
So when you were, what is it, promoted, I guess, to major, I mentioned that earlier, that it
Mhm.
was at a ceremony held on the National Mall, and it's important. I think that you also wanted to point out the fact that the National Museum of African American History and Culture was in the backdrop of that event. Why was that so important to you?
You know, when I think of it, it wasn't so much even about the promotion itself, but it
Hmm.
really made me think about the journey to get here and about how it correlates and is so similar to so many other, Black women who came before me. And then Major General McNeil had just passed, and 6888, the movie, had just passed. And I was just reading a lot of stuff, and I'm like, you know what? This is an extension of everything in that museum. Right? I'm able to be here and hold my head high because of everyone in that museum. And so I wanted my story, right, my moment to be a part of that, to pay homage, and to also, show everyone, my peers, they're like, hey, be yourself, be you. regardless. And, we don't need to hide anything about that. I'm very proud of being an HBCU graduate. I'm very proud of being a first generation college graduate. I'm very proud of being black, a black woman. I'm very proud of being 6 feet tall, an athlete. And I'm not going to hide for anyone. There's nothing wrong with it. Embracing yourself, your heritage, and history. And so it made it extremely special to me. And I was happy to do it. And after the ceremony, I went inside and actually took a picture in front of the 688 exhibit.
Wow, wow. And I can't let that go by. Are you actually 6 feet tall?
I am
And you're a former
72 inches,
athlete?
count them.
And a former athlete?
Yes, I played basketball growing up all the way up to high school. Um, and then started, writing to explore my creative side. But yeah, basketball is my favorite sport.
Amazing. I mean, you don't know when you're sitting in these little Hollywood squares, right?
Right, right, right.
You make me want to sit up a little bit more. Uh, but tell us about the app though. That's what I'm really excited about. Something new that you have just launched, and I want to know a little bit more about what is it? Speak, not talk, not
Talk,
text.
don't text.
Talk, don't text. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's keep it on here. So, Talk Don't Text. It's a patented social app, and what it does is connect people who are currently inside the same venue, building, or space at the same time, right? So they can socialize or network more comfortably. And so right now, what we're doing is targeting college campuses. We recently did a pop-up launch at Howard University campus. We're working with 3 student ambassadors over there. Shout out to Adele, Tian, and Malik, who's a Marine veteran. And so what it does is, well, actually, for with Howard, for an example, be giving Howard's campus, right, if they take us on their own real-time social hub. So if you have students from California or freshmen from Texas or whatnot, everyone on the campus is using our app. You simply scroll through the app, and every profile you see, it will be another student on that campus the same time as you. So you can see what you have in common, make friends more, easier. And we're removing that barrier of social anxiety. So people can get more comfortable back into with in-person interaction. So, but whether it's a college campus or even convention centers, right? We're looking at servicing convention centers. So, instead of each individual conference having to do their own app, the convention center will have a built-in platform. These Talk Don't Text have a built-in platform. So every conference they host automatically has the our attendee engagement app, and simply send a DM, and that person is right there in that conference, in that space, in that venue, the same time you are, so you can instantly go and meet in person and see beforehand what you have in common and maybe want to talk about.
So this encourages. It starts with a search and a text, but it ends up in a conversation, a meeting and a conversation. Is that what it is? And
Exactly,
okay.
exactly. We are, giving you that information beforehand, putting everybody in that space with you in the palm of your hands for your convenience and for your giving you that information, their profile, whatever they wanted to share. So you can quickly break that ice, see if you want to talk, and then you're both in the same place at the same time. So you can instantly meet in person instead of doing, feeling a little weird walking up to strangers.
Well, believe it or not, I'm not one of those people that is really good at that either. I'm good at talking to strangers. It's there's certain environments where I'm not good,
Mm.
right? So I can see where this would work. Um, and I guess what was the problem that you were trying to solve with this? And that is sort of that icebreaker kind of thing, or trying to find, what is it that you were trying to solve with this?
Yeah, so really, well, the story behind it is that I went back home to Atlanta, and I got into a near death accident with the 18-wheeler. And apps, and by all means necessary, that should have been it. And I thought that was it. And in that second, when I thought it was all over, I was flying across 85. The only thing that popped in my head wasn't fear, wasn't scared or anything, was disappointment or really disbelief, right? That I didn't accomplish more. And from there, I was set. on identifying my purpose. And I was always very interested and passionate about people socializing right together and being more transparent and comfortable with that instead of texting all day. And I always saw technology and in-person interaction as competing. But then I was like, well, what if, instead of competing, what if they complement each other?
Okay.
Right? People are texting instead of the phone call, and because of they're scared of this or not approaching each other in person because of, rejection or whatever else. How can we use the technology that they're comfortable with using and that has efficiencies to help, right, remove those barriers so that they can be more comfortable and interact in person? And so that's the problem we are solving. And our patent, I think our approved patent said we did it very well.
So is it something that someone can, download now? Is it available now, or is it still in a testing mode? Where are you with this?
No, it's available now. It's in the App Store and Android Store. All that needs to happen is whatever venue, or if you have a conference somewhere, you simply go on talkdonttext.com, register your venue. It'll instantly populate as a check-in option on the app for your attendees. And once the attendees download the app, once they show up to that venue location, they simply check it, hit it from the drop-down menu, and then they get put into your real-time attendee pool with everyone else who's actually at your event or your venue at the same time.
Nice, nice. So it is like other social media platforms. You have to be in it in order to be in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a standalone app. So imagine if having like Instagram for your own event or
Right.
something like that. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's real time and but in person.
Well, it does work. I mean, now that we're back out, we're out, and about. We're not locked inside like we were during COVID, and people are coming out in mass. They're attending all kinds of events right now. So, and trying to build their social capital, learning and meeting people. So it's perfect. It sounds like a great app, and I wish you luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So we talked about a lot today. We talked about your military service and your the dream that you have created for yourself and for others to benefit from. Any last words that you might want to share with us, particularly on this Veterans Day?
I would like to share with veterans and all service members that your value doesn't end with your service, and the military can be its own separate world. And I know so many times it could be difficult to not have your rank so attached to who you are as a human being. But hey, if you can excel, exceed, and enjoy, right? Enjoy one world, then you certainly can do it in the civilian world and everywhere else. So I just want to say thank you, everyone, for your service. And we're going to keep going up. And I plan to do my part.
Well, thank you so much for yours, Major Bianca Ross. We thank you so much for being with us today, and have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Where do you come to get